Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you're about to see here. I'm very excited to do this video because I promised you guys that around the middle of each month, between the 12th and the 15th, I was going to strive for uploading the next month's budget workbook. And I have August finally finished. And I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I hope you guys are too. I am going to continue my promise to provide these budget workbooks every month for the rest of this year. But I am not going to do quite as many individual printables any longer. And some of the ones that I have put out there for download already, I am going to be limiting access to, for various reasons. But I am going to keep my promise and keep these monthly budget workbooks coming. So what happens next year is still to be seen. I still haven't decided. I might, request some feedback from you guys as to what you think is the best route to go. I've always wanted to get an online kind of storefront going again, like an Etsy, but I'm not sure if that's the right platform, but we will see. And we're going to go from there. So this is my May budget workbook. You guys know we worked in this together for the entire month. And then we had June's, and June's had some changes to it. I was happy. This has been evolving ever since I did these releases, the first time I did the releases, and I'm really happy because you guys give me feedback and suggestions, and I've implemented almost all of them because I thought that your thoughts and your feedback was really important, and it was actually really helpful to me. This is the one I've been using for July. It's the puppy on the beach, and I've been using the more colorful, the ombre color layouts, things like that. It's just a little bit more fun, and I used a horizontal July monthly expense planner. So I changed up some things, but I also listened to you guys and what works for you. So I think I've taken everything into consideration, and I'm ready to show you August. So August was a labor of love because I had so much tweaking to do for the individual printables that were inside of this. So it wasn't just that I needed to come up with a new cover. I needed to come up with the best way to edit the documents that I already had in place and make them more user-friendly for you, more user-friendly for me. So this is the cover that I came up with. I don't know. I want to say at this time I'm not going to be doing multiple covers or versions of the August planner this time. It was just so much work, and I'm not sure it's really necessary. So I thought this was pretty universal. I mean, who doesn't like watermelon? Who doesn't like fun August colors? We have some oranges and hot pinks and everything. And I just wanted to make something that was fun to use. I wanted to take the seriousness that's part of budgeting and offset it with a little bit of lightness, which is the planner that we're working in. So I'm going to show you the pages so you know everything that's included, because this is different. This is different from the ones that I put out before. And there's some new inserts in here, and there's some different layouts. So I did go ahead and listen to your feedback, and I kept the month on 2 pages. Everybody seems to really like to have the larger blocks to work in and to write in. It does allow you a lot more space, to keep track of things. And I thought, well, it's not broken. Let's not fix it. Not everybody likes the horizontal where you have to turn your notebook or your planner. So I kept this one very simple, and the only really decorative side to it is the sun that I used in place of a 0 for 2024. All right, so let's get into the monthly budget planner for August, and I wanted to talk about this because this has had probably the most changes out of any of my printables. So I have incorporated an extra column at your request. In fact, it was more than a couple people had suggested it. They wanted to see 2 columns, one for budgeted amounts for all the expenses and one for actual. So I thought that was a great idea, and it's not really something that I had ever done before, and my other ones just had you know, one column that said amount. So this is very, it's a lot more specific, and it allows you to track things even more specifically, you know, to the penny. And especially for those of you who are doing a zero-based budget, I think that's very helpful for you. The income, I just kept to one column because I've said this before, I don't really like to count my pennies before I have them. So I just left the amount instead of having a budgeted amount that we think is coming in income. I don't fill this in until the money already hits my account. So I left just the amount. Variable expenses got the new column. Subscriptions got the new column. Savings got the new column. And the receipt is a little bit different too. I have an extra space here now for a grand total, and then an extra space for, you know, the big number, the fun number, and that's what you have remaining at the end of the month. So for some of you, you want to see a high number there. For some of you, you want to see a zero, because that means you worked your budget to a zero base. The paycheck budget breakdown. Again, another fun color. I thought it went with August, but it's also just a lot more bright. And I don't know, I just think it's more enjoyable to use something that has a little bit of pizzazz to it. So there's just 2 spaces for income because you get 5 of these sheets. So just in case there's a 5th Friday or a 5th payday that you have, actually there's space for you to track 10 different pay dates, but there's 5 sheets. So there's 2 on each sheet. So here again, I didn't do this with a budgeted and actual, because when you do the paycheck budget breakdown, if you do it like me, you're doing it when the money comes in. So there's no reason in most cases to budget the numbers rather than just write down actual, because at this point you're breaking down your paycheck to the penny. So you're using more specific and actual numbers. So I left this somewhat the way it was before, but again, there's some new features like the subscriptions area, because I just never had enough room to track those in my variables. And as far as I'm concerned, they're not as like high level as a variable, because they're really something that I can do without. And then the receipts area has an extra space for savings and subscriptions, and then a total line. So this is kind of edited. Well, it's very edited, but it's not so new, but there are some new features to it. So I hope that's more in line with what you guys were thinking. Let me open this back up. So again, there's 5 sheets of that inside. So I'm going to turn. Here, the sinking funds sheet. This captures the date, the fund, whether you're adding to the fund or subtracting from it, and then the grand total, what's left. And then at the very bottom, you have another line that just has a total for all your savings together. So I think this is a really nice sheet to have too. It's especially nice for me because I'm back into doing my sinking funds in a cash envelope system. So this is very helpful for me to look back on and to track my money. So if I wanted to use something like this with my envelopes, I still can. But if I didn't want to use these, I could just use this and it would be fine. So it just depends on how much you want to simplify things. For the monthly goals, this has changed. I told you guys that I was probably going to work on this, and I did. So I have 4 lines here for each goal instead of 3. There's less space in between, but I think that's fine because there's still plenty of space to write. And then over here, I added a column where you can check off in these boxes whether or not you have completed that goal or achieved the goal, however you want to word it. So we still have budget, health, home, and work. The icons are a little bit more colorful, and like I said, this addition of the completed column is the biggest difference, along with 1 extra line for an added goal. The spending tracker for August 2024. I just put 1 sheet in here because I didn't know if it was redundant. And once you guys have this, you can print out as many sheets of any one of these categories as your heart desires. So I just included 1 in the kit, and it has a column for date, description of what you spent, the amount, and whether you used a cash or a credit card. And then below you can total up everything that you spent if you like. And then here we have this printable, which is the bill payments. So this has the due dates, the bill, the amount, and you can check this off here whether it was paid. Or you can put the amount, and if you say you always budget, I don't know, $140 for your cell phones, you can put that here, and if they raised some fees or they did something different, you can put the alternate amount over here. I mean, there's lots of ways that you could work this, but I think this is the best way to do it, and just use this as a check-off system. Under here, under paid, you can either put a check mark, you can put the date you paid it, you can put a yes or a no, you can put, you know, whatever whatever works for you. And here we have the debt tracker. Now you may or may not want to print out multiple sheets for this as well. I have a couple different thoughts about this, but for myself, since I don't have currently credit card debt, I am going to leave this the way it is, just with 2 sections. And then you can put your debt in the top row, the balance, the date, and then there's columns here for the date, the payment, and the balance. This here, it still says the same thing, but it's just in this charcoal ink, and I'm not going to change that because I don't think it makes a difference. It also can offset, you know, to show that these are 2 different things. I don't know. I don't think that's that big of a deal, so I'm not going to go back and edit that. But you have space for 2 different debts. So for me, I'm going to be using mortgage. And then if I do put the rest of the cost of our windows for our house that we're getting on my Bank of America card, I'll be using the second column for the Bank of America card. So I'll do that as long as I have it. This is new. This is a new printable. I did not release this as an individual. This is just something that I put in this monthly budget workbook because I thought that it might be helpful for some people, and it's a monthly dinner plan. This is obviously, again, for August. Now you have the days of the week down on the left column, and then across you have 4 weeks to add what your dinner was, and if you would also like to track the cost, you can do that as well. So you have 4 Mondays, 4 Tuesdays, so on and so forth. This should almost get you through an entire month. Most cases it will. Some cases you might have an extra day or 2 or something, but there's plenty of room at the bottom margin that you can add that if you need to. So you know how some months go, some months have an extra couple days that, you know, like, what am I trying to say? Like some months have an extra payday, an extra Friday, or an extra Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? So there's plenty of space to add if you need to. But I thought this was a really nice tool to use as well, because a lot of us are incorporating our dinner plan with a budget and a grocery budget in total, and we like to track this and have this available to us too to look back on. So we got the whole month on one page, which I thought was really nice. And then finally, the last page to this is the back cover. And as you can see, it is your monthly recap, this time with a little pink highlighter, and it just says August 2024. There is no other decoration to this. It is just lined paper. So you can take notes, you can make notes, you can do a little forecasting for September. You can do some recapping for August. You can do anything that you want here, but basically this is your last notation for the month of August. So then you're ready to close out. And that's even a good thing to write here too, how you want to close out your month. If there are certain things that you want to do, if there's certain parts of your process that you want to add here and maybe chart that out. There's a million things you could do with this page that would be really useful. So that is the last page. You have 16 pages of content and worksheets to go into this budget planner, and I'm really happy to provide it to you. So the link for this, of course, is in the description below. And like I said, please get it while you can, because I've already removed some from this particular video description. I don't know if I'll go back and edit the other videos, but I'm going to be limiting access to the older printables starting now. So whenever I release something, hopefully you're a subscriber, hopefully you get notifications when I upload a new video so you don't miss anything, because from now on, everything that I provide to you guys is going to be on a very limited basis. And then when it's done, it's done. I won't be granting access after a certain date, but I will be sure to let you guys know so you're not surprised and you have time to get everything that you need. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you don't want to print this double-sided, you can always just straight print it. I mean, the only thing that's going to affect really is your calendar layout, the month on 2 pages. And the other thing is, if you don't want to print this in color, you can always choose grayscale on your printer and print it that way. So hopefully what I'm striving for is to have a 12-month budget planner ready by the end of this year, and I'm going to have that for sale. It's going to be all the pages, all the workbook kits in one planner. So I'm working really hard on that, and on some other things as well, so I will keep you posted. But thank you so much for being here. This is my thank you to you. I hope that you enjoy this workbook. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below, and I hope to see you guys next time.